Well, good evening, everybody. It's good to be here. Um, this particular message hits me broadside. And, honestly, I want to stand before the Lord in right standing. I don't want there to be nothing, no matter how big or how small, standing in the way of the Lord finding me faithful. It's probably been a couple, 2 or 3 years ago. I don't remember when I bought it. I bought a air rifle. And I never really used it that much. Half the time it just stayed in the case. It stayed in the pouch. I bought one of them nice gun sleeves to put it in just so that it would, be out of the weather and it would protect it and all. And it's the type of air rifle that actually shoots pellets or it shoots BBs. And I never used it. I mean, it ain't probably had a half a dozen BBs sent through it. But they make a little plastic clip that you feed the pellets in, and it goes into the side of the gun, and it's only about the length of my finger. It's just a plastic piece is all it is, and you put the pellets in one direction. And what you do is every time you shoot the pellet, you line it up with the barrel, and then you take the ram that rams it into the barrel of the gun. You ram it in there and you pump it up and you're ready to fire. The next pellet that you use, you take the ram and you back it up, you cock it back, and you shove that little plastic piece over to the next pellet. And you shove it in and you pump it up and you fire. Well, I guess I have got rid of the box. I could never find the box. And evidently, it could have very well been that I could have actually thrown the little plastic piece away. And I'm not really sure if I took it out. The one that they have now looks a little bit different, if I recall. One looks a little more different than the other. And I went out to Walmart thinking that if I bought the gun there, that they would probably have a pack of them things. It's a lot like a sleeve, that you would need more than one to have enough loaded up where you wouldn't have to put the pellets in individually. But they didn't have one. Matter of fact, they don't even make the rifle that I have today. And so I called the factory, and the guy was very nice to me. He wanted the serial number on the gun, and I told him the serial number. But he got off the phone long enough to go check. And he just so happened to have found one. There was some that was left in the bin, evidently, and he knew where to find them. and he was very nice. He sent me one of them. Now, it hadn't got here yet, but I have turned over every nook and cranny that I can know, and it's probably right under my nose, and I just don't see it. And that's not impossible for me, because my mind is not sharp like it used to be. I don't know where I put things. It could be in this room right now, and I would not know it because it would be laying right here in front of me. My point is, I led him to believe that sleeve wasn't in the plastic. And to be just totally honest in front of y'all and God, I don't remember taking the thing out because I never used the pellets. That's not to say that it's not here. But here's the reason why I'm using this particular verse. I'm looking at 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 6. 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 6. But godliness without contentment, let me read that rightly now. But godliness with contentment is great gain. Godliness with contentment is great gain. You know, when I rub the wood outside on a post, it's very likely that I'm going to get a thorn in my finger. And the thorn is not going to automatically hurt right when I get that thorn in my finger. But the longer that I leave that thorn there, the more agitated that thorn is going to make the end of my finger. To the point that I'm going to wish that I would have went ahead and got my fingernail clips and clipped out that skin to let go of that thorn, to get that thorn out of my finger. And part of me told that man that there wasn't no clip in the bag. But honestly, I do not remember. I don't remember using it. I don't remember that it was sealed in the bag, because it's been 2 or 3 years, I'm sure. I don't know where it could be laying. If it is laying, I have looked in every jar, in every place, in both of my vehicles. I have spent hours upon hours trying to find that little plastic little clip, and I do not know where it is. It's probably here. But here's the point that of the reason I'm making this particular message. I don't want that little $5 clip to stop my contentment with God. Because part of me feels like that I told that man that I didn't have one, and he went and found me one, and he shipped it to me. And he shipped it to me for free. Now, I don't want to be known as a liar. I've taken things in my life before. Earlier in my younger teenage time, I remember being a thief. I'll give you an example. I went to a store. I wanted a ball glove. I went into that store. I got that ball glove, and I took it out of that store and didn't pay for it. It's only a wonder I didn't get caught. It was, oh God, early 1970s, 71 maybe. I took that ball glove. I took me an ink pen and I wrote all over that ball glove to make it look like that's something that I had 2 years ago. I sort of decorated it like it was an old glove, so nobody would say nothing. I put so much ink on that glove, it made the glove look ugly. You know what this fool did? You're looking at me, Brother Ken. This fool went and got him another one. Because I wanted one that didn't look that bad. Even though there wasn't a thing in the world wrong with the glove that I had. I just wanted another one that looked a little more prettier, that wasn't as marked up. And I think about the theft of them ball gloves all the time. But that store is out of business. That store is no longer in service. I don't know if their family is still living. I've often thought that, I would love to write them a check for probably $30, because them gloves probably were about $10 or $12 a piece. I would love to find out who the owner of that family was that owned that store and just mail them a check and send them a letter saying that at their age of 12 years old or so, I took them ball gloves. See, what I'm getting at, part of me had guilt. And that was before I was ever a Christian. I was in the church. I knew better to steal. My daddy would have tore my tail up had he would have found out about it. But here's the thing, that has always worried me. And I don't make a habit of telling a lie. And that company sent me that little $5 little piece of plastic that I haven't got that yet. I haven't got my possession of my hands on that. They was nice enough to go and find what I needed and told me it would be in that day's mail. They even sent me an email confirming it. And the only thing I knew to do was to post their website and brag about their company, because I felt guilty that I was taking something that I didn't pay for. And I still feel like that when that thing comes, there's going to be some way, somehow, that I'm going to find myself calling that company back and telling them, look, I didn't get billed for this. Now, when they go and tell me, sir, it's okay, don't worry about it, then more than likely, I'm not going to worry about it then. But I'll be honest with you, I don't want something so minute to cause me to fear that I've taken something that wasn't mine. I went to Walmart to try to buy what I needed, and they didn't have it. And no place around here would have had it other than the manufacturer of the gun. So what am I saying? But godliness with contentment is great gain. I want to be content, knowing that I didn't take that item, because I don't want that little $5 piece of plastic to rob me from the joy of my contentment. And I don't even have the piece of plastic in my hand yet. I don't want my sincerity of me forgetting whether I got it or I got it in the bag, or I used it and lost it, or I threw it away by accident. I don't want that to be on that company. I want it to be on me. I don't want to lose my contentment. You notice what it says, but godliness with contentment. I don't want nothing to steal my contentment. I don't want to lay down at night knowing that I told that guy that I don't remember receiving it. Do I remember putting my fingers on that? I never used a pellet part. I just never had no reason to use it. I never really used the BB part of the gun. But here's the thing. I didn't want to go tell a lie to the man. And I'll just be honest with you. I have a fear of putting anything on my credit card where somebody could take my number over and above what I purchased and charge more stuff. And I have a fear that anytime I buy something, I'm very conscious of where it is that I use that card, that I don't want nobody else using the number. So I protect that card with my life almost. I buy gas with it. I may go to Walmart and buy something with it, but I usually remember what I buy. So when I get the bill on the credit card, I know that that was something that I purchased and I feel good about paying for it. I had a credit card that somebody ended up getting the number and ended up charging up a bunch of stuff. And I called and told them that, look, I think my number has been hacked. And they told me to cut the card up immediately. And I did exactly what they told me to do. And I did not have to pay one nickel of any of the charges that was not proven that I'm the one that charged. I paid for the use of the card that I paid for. They eat the money that somebody else posted in another town. See, the point that I'm making is, but godliness with contentment is great gain. Again, I don't want anything to separate me from the godliness and the contentment that I have in the Lord. I would rather go out and buy a brand new gun and get the clip and know that I did it the right way rather than taking something that don't belong to me. Yes, is it trivial? Yes, it's trivial. But here's what makes me want to do a message like this. If that little tiny little clip could rob my mind of my honesty and my faithfulness to the Lord, how in the world could I come out here tonight and bring a video knowing that I dishonestly took something that was not mine? You remember the man in the Bible. You remember the story in the man in the Bible that was asked about land that they had sold. And the man lied. I think he lied to Peter. And the man fell dead. And his wife come in not but a few hours later and made the same lie. And she fell dead just like that. See, it's not so much of the value. It wasn't like me going in there taking a $500 watch. But what robs my contentment? Because it says here, but godliness with contentment is great gain. I didn't want the Lord to be displeased with me because of that little $5 little clip that can't be more than $5, maybe $8 at the most. But when I get that clip and I get it in my hand, I'm going to call that company back. And I'm going to say that y'all shipped me this piece and I'm grateful and I'm thankful. But how much of the cost is that little plastic piece? And let them tell me what the cost is on that and offer to pay for that item. They didn't charge me nothing. They put on there 000. They didn't make me pay for it. But I don't want to take something that ain't mine. I hope I'm making the message clear tonight that you don't want anything to rob your godliness. You don't want anything to rob your contentment. Because godliness and contentment is great gain in the eyes of God. So whatever it is that little thorn in your finger, I can tell you right now, it's easier to get the thorn out before it starts getting sore than to let it fester and let it just say, oh, it'll get better. Oh, it'll go away. It'll get better. No, it gets more sore. And I'll be honest with you, I have not felt the best in the world because I don't want to let that little Mickey Mouse $5 part rob my contentment. I hope you understand what I'm saying today. If you're born again out there today, you don't want anything to rob your contentment with God. I don't care if it's little or nothing. If it ain't yours, it ain't yours. If that clip is not mine when it comes, I don't want it. I don't want it if it ain't mine. If they give me permission to keep it and say, no, sir, we sent it to you, you keep it. I would rather send them money back for that item, but will it get to the company that made the item, or will the person take the money that you mail the money to? I'm the type that if I owe $5, I put a $5 bill in the envelope. But see, the thing is, the $5 bill in the envelope might not get to the company. You see what I'm getting at? Make sure that your contentment is mixed with the godliness, because it means that it's great gain. Okay? Thank y'all for watching. Elderly ministry is how you get a hold of me. You can also get a hold of me through YouTube right here. You can call me through that elderly ministry website. You can go look at the videos. There's a bunch of videos online that you can look at. Look me up. If you think I can help you with anything at all, by all means, give me a buzz. Give me a call if I can help, okay? Thank y'all for tuning in. I really appreciate it.